Use that as fuel. I'll tell you, the reason why a lot of goals have been hit in my life, even from a young age, is that somebody really made me mad or told me I couldn't do something. Whew. Welcome to the Obsessed or Not Interested podcast. I am your host, Mindy Wenderquario, and I'm a small town go-to girl next door who is obsessed with helping others see more for themselves so they can thrive in all areas of life. I love researching all the things like wellness, mindset, relationships, you name it. If I'm obsessed with it, I get hyper-focused on it and I research the crap out of it, and then I share it with you. If those are things that you're also obsessed with, then keep listening and let's become new best friends. Welcome to another episode of the Obsessed or Not Interested podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Wenderquario, and today we are going to be talking about the bounce back and how I'm going to give you some tips, like 10 tips actually, on how you can bounce back after you lose it, after you lose your SHIT, basically. So let's just talk about this. Let's get real with ourselves. So we all have to get real with ourselves when something comes up in our lives that doesn't go as planned. So now this could be something big, like something major in your life that's just like, like a divorce or a loss of a relationship or, a business failing or anything. You insert what it is for you. Or it could be something really small, like you were working really hard on putting something together, like a decorative piece or something in your house, and then a dog knocks it over and it shatters. And you're just like, I worked so hard on this and now it broke and I'm going to freak out. Or it could just be like, everything going wrong in your day. And then the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say, and something happens and it seems not so big because it isn't, but like all the things like leading up to it that day. And then that happening just makes you want to lose it. Okay. Or it could be like, hey, you've fallen off the wagon and now you're beating yourself up about it. And you, again, want to lose it because you're so mad at yourself that you've fallen so far off your game and you want to get back on track. You want to bounce back. So mostly what we're talking about is when something, whatever it is, big or small, comes up in your life, how do you bounce back from freaking out or crying or being so angry or whatever the thing is for you? How do we bounce back for those? How do we bounce back from those things? So, number one, we have to get real with ourselves. Okay. So we have to be honest with ourselves and let ourselves know, hey, I just lost my crap just now and I need to get back on track because I don't want to feel this way. So you have to be real with ourselves at, hey, I freaked out. Maybe I was overreacting a little bit. Maybe this isn't how I should have reacted to this situation. And it could be like, you're like, hey, I was a little dramatic, so something happens and you really, it triggers you. And maybe it's triggering you from like something to happen in your past or somebody who hurt you in your past. And so now this is happening in a different situation with a new person and you are triggered by that event. So your reaction does not line up with the offense. Does that make sense? So like the offense that happened, the situation that happened, your reaction is so over the top or dramatic, or your anger, you're like overly angry about something or sad about something it's just not adding up with the offense. You might think to yourself, am I crazy? Or that person might be looking at you like you're crazy. You are not crazy, but we do have to get real with ourselves. So step number one, what I like to do is like, okay, here's what happened and here's how I reacted. Whether I am okay with how I reacted, whether I think it lined up, like it was like a correct reaction, like I should have even maybe got a little more, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. We just have to first get real with ourselves and remind ourselves, okay, this was the situation. The vase broke after I worked so hard doing this flower arrangement, or this person lied to me about a tiny little lie, but I'm so triggered by liars that I really freaked out and went over the top. Whatever it is, you need to like be honest with yourself, write it down if you need to. I like to journal about it. write it down, get real with yourself about what happened. The next thing is assess the situation. So now you know what the situation is, assess it. What did your reaction line up? Did it not? Whatever it is, at least assess it to know where you stand in the situation and your reaction. And then the third thing is what I like to do is this comes with practice is I always tell people don't allow yourself to go there. So for example, in business, I teach this a lot while mentoring women in business. But the thing that I would say always is don't allow yourself to go there. So for example, if you're like having a really bad week and you're not getting a lot of sales and you're not getting a lot of progress in your workouts, or you are just having you feel very disconnected from your spouse and you're just like you're having a bad week or a bad month or whatever, instead of allowing yourself to be like spiral on negative thoughts or saying, I just not cut out for this. This must not be for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't think that I'm ever going to be good at this. Just don't allow yourself to even go there. Catch yourself before you react. Same thing is true if you can catch yourself, if the vase breaks after you just spent all that time trying to make everything nice and then it tips over, the dog tips it over and it breaks. You feel in the moment, I know I do. It's like I could literally freaking cry right now. Like that just took me forever. I'm exhausted. I've worked so hard on this and you feel like crying. So before I allow myself to cry or go there or get down on myself, I will stop myself and say, I'm not going to go there. And you want to know why? Because the bounce back takes a lot of work. I'm going to give you the tips on that. Okay. I'm going to give you the tips and tools on that. I'm going to give 10 things. I'm going to give you a list of 10 things to help you bounce back when these things happen. But let's just stop it. So you don't even need the 10 tips. Let's try to train ourselves to not allow ourselves to go there. I had a mentor one time in business years ago that when you're building a business, you will have negative comments. And you know all about this with social media. You'll have negative comments. You'll have naysayers. You'll have loved ones. When you're building a business, you'll have loved ones not support you and maybe make fun of you even. I mean, I could go all over the boards with this. And so you have a choice. You have a choice. You either allow yourself to go there and spiral and go down this deep, dark hole, or you don't, because you know the bounce back is going to take a lot of work to get yourself back to where your happy place when you're on your game. Okay. So just don't allow yourself to go there. And this is not, I even go there. I'm telling you right now, I'm human. I even allow myself to go there sometimes. But you know what? It is so much easier when I don't. Okay. The next thing is have expectations that allow things to happen. Leave room for hiccups, in other words. So when our expectations are too perfect, and our expectations are like, I just expect this business to take off and I'm going to become a millionaire in a week and all this stuff, or you expect your partner to be perfect and don't leave wiggle room for hiccups and mistakes. We have to remind ourselves, just as much as we're human and we make mistakes, other people can make mistakes as well. So that could be a coworker, it could be a friend, it could be your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, it could be whoever. But we need to remind ourselves, like, dude, I'm not perfect, so why do I expect her to be or him to be? You know what I'm saying? And same thing with your friends. Your friend, I get when you get betrayed by a friend, you're just like, you want to be done. You can't believe this happened. I so agree. But sometimes sitting down, having a conversation, and there's this thing called forgiveness. And that really is the way Jesus wants us to be. Because that if you look in the Bible, and I want you to do this, if you have a hard time with this, and this is something that forgiveness is a whole nother episode, so I don't want to go on a tangent here. But if you struggle with this and you are oftentimes like going through friendships a lot and you hold people to this very high standard and you get upset with people who don't live up to your standard. And well, I wouldn't do that. So, and I got to tell you guys, I'm guilty of this. I really have to work on this. And so I would go in the Bible Or you can even Google search Bible verses on forgiveness, or Google what books of the Bible do I read on forgiveness, or is there a Bible study on forgiveness? Because once we can start it's changing your perspective at the end of the day. Once you start to learn about forgiveness, okay, and change your heart posture to realize, hey, I'm not perfect. This person isn't either. And if they show remorse in their actions, I can forgive them. And so my reaction doesn't have to be this crazy over the top thing. I can not allow myself to go there, allow hiccups in things, have clear expectations that allow things to happen and leave some wiggle room for people to have hiccups, right? It just makes life so much easier, dude. It really does. So when things go wrong and they seem impossible, you need to tell yourself that that's a lie, because it is. When things go, all over the place and not as planned, and things are going wrong left and right, and things seem impossible to get back on track or seem impossible to fix, right? You need to realize that that's a lie. There's so many times in my business where I'm just like, oh my God, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh my goodness, how am I ever going to figure this out? But I do it. I'm like, this is impossible. I'm never going to finish just by the deadline. I'm never going to do this, but I work at it and I don't give up until the last second. And it usually all works out the way it should be. And I usually figure it out. And not all the time, not all the time. And that's okay. But when you're sitting there and you're like, I don't even know where to begin. This is a mess. Everything went wrong. You just have to tell yourself, no, that's a lie. And I'm going to fix this. And then do everything in your power to try to fix the situation and remind yourself it's a lie. It is a lie that it's impossible. If you allow yourself to go there, it takes so much longer to bounce back. So, you know how I just said that. So, that's why we want to have a note section in our phone reminding ourselves of that. Like, maybe write down some mantras or something. I'm going to go into that in a second here, but write some things down, even if you write down that statement, if I let myself go there, if I allow myself to go there, it will take so much longer for me to bounce back from this. And that's not what we want. And everyone has a different bounce back rate. Mine, just side note here, everyone has a different bounce back rate. Some people are able to bounce back quickly. Other people dwell and it takes them a lot longer. So I don't know what your bounce back rate is. I bounce back fairly quickly to things, that I don't know if that's ADHD, working in my favor or what it is, but I just know that I definitely have a very high bounce back rate. Like, I can bounce back very quickly. But if that might not be you, and that's okay. We are all unique and we are all different, and that's okay. But just know where you stand with that. Again, self-awareness. Have self-awareness so you know your bounce back rate is. So then it'll even inspire you more, actually, to not freak out, because you don't want to, how long, like, if you go there, you go there and you're in that deep hole for a minute, and you don't want that. Okay, so now I'm going to give you 10 tools and tips to help you for when you do go there, because we're all going to go there. We are all human. And if you're listening to this podcast, I'm not perfect, and you probably relate to me because you're not either. So, and by the way, nobody is, but between you and I, people think they are. People think they're so buttoned up and their hair is always perfect and they never misspeak and they have never had a typo in their life and they're just perfect. And that's good for them. But that's not the community we have here at Obsessed or Not Interested. Okay. So, number one, operating as your best self. What I mean by that, if you start your morning off on the right foot and you're operating as your best self, like I've talked about this in many episodes, but you're doing the things that help you feel good about yourself and be on top of your game, and starting your morning out on the right foot with a morning routine, and you are reading your Bible and you're listening to podcasts throughout the day, and you're filling your mind with positivity and positive things, you will have a faster bounce back rate and you will help yourself get back on track faster, and maybe, just maybe, not even allow yourself to go there. So that's just a tool that can help you before you even need the help. You know what I'm saying? So, operating as your best self, I want you to take a minute. Obviously, if you're driving, not now, but take a minute sometime today or when you're journaling in your hyper focus journal or your notebook or whatever you use. Take a minute to list out 5 different ways that help you operate as your best self. So, just brain dump, and this might be some of the things I'm going to mention in a second. Something for me is focusing on the good throughout the day. And as I told you in my last episode, is that I like to actually write things down in a note section throughout the day. So if something really good happened, write it down. If something small happened that was positive, I write it down. If a coincidence happened, that's what I call a God's wink. God's winking at me right now, showing that I'm on the right track, and he's always trying to do good for us, and he's just loves us so much. Anything that reminds me of that, I put that in that note section. So that's something that helps me operate as my best self, as well as working out and eating healthy. When I do that, I'm telling you, there is a missed opportunity for business coaches out there, which I'm a business coach, right? But there's something missing. When I mentor women, I always add wellness into the conversation, because I just know how much more likely your chances are into accomplishing your goals if you are working out, if you have a morning routine, and if you're eating clean. I know that to be true. So a lot of people are like, I'm just going to help this person in business, and that's that. I am like, no, I work on people in all the different areas, because I want you to thrive in your business or in your whatever you're working with me. I obviously do mindset coaching and life coaching and stuff like that. But for business people, I want you to thrive in your business, but I also want you to thrive in all areas of your life, because that is what makes you fulfilled. That's why in the beginning of the Hyperfocus Journal, we do the self-assessment on every different category of your life, because you can be doing very well in your career and neglecting your relationships. And I'm sorry, but it's really lonely at the top. It is very lonely at the top. So that's why I've made these mistakes in my life. Early on in my business career, I made certain mistakes, and once I realized it, I was like, okay, so now I'm not going to do this anymore, but now I want to tell everybody else about it. I want to tell everybody else what my mistake was, so they don't have to do the same thing. Like collapsing time for you. And I'm going to screw this up, but there is a Chinese proverb that Ed Milet shared on one of his podcast episodes in the last month. I can't remember which one, but it was, and again, I don't know exactly. This is again why if you like me and follow this podcast, you don't need somebody so buttoned up and perfect. You like somebody who's real, relatable, because I'm not going to get this right. I should probably stop this podcast and look it up, but I'm not going to do that, because this is real. I'm real. So the Chinese proverb goes something like this: if you want to gain wisdom and want to learn from somebody, ask the person that's heading back. Like, think of a person walking on a path. You're going down this path, right? And if you want to learn about going down this path and succeeding, ask the person who's on their way back for advice. Meaning, let's just say business. You want to ask people about who have already done it, who've already been there. You want to learn from them. And so that's what that's what I've done from day one. I want to help you save time and get you to your goals faster than I did it the long, hard way. And I screwed up and I made mistakes. And now I want to be like, okay, I figured it out, and I'm going to tell you what to do and what not to do. And this is why, whether it's me or not, this is why having a mentor or a coach or somebody to just brainstorm ideas with, or taking courses from somebody who's been there before and has experience, dang, that is an investment in your business and in your life that you need, because you are saving yourself so much time and energy and so much failure and mistakes. Not that you won't fail, not that you won't make mistakes, but it will save you from making the same mistakes this other person did. And you can you learn from the mistake. It's just somebody else had to make it for you, and you can just learn from them.
I wanted to quickly tell you about a free resource that I created for you. I made a Mindset 101 ebook. So it's really quick, it's fast. You go to my website, you download it, and you could start reading it and then start applying the things that I teach in this ebook. What I found is that it's hard to know where to start, I feel like. And so when I'm chatting with people in the DMs, they're just like, I am so negative. I feel so down about myself. I'm so insecure. I have no goals. I don't know where to begin. Somebody help me. That's what led me to want to create this ebook. So what's great about this, it's going to teach you, first of all, to get self-aware and to find your starting point. So then you can identify the things that you need to work on and what we need to improve on. And then I go through and teach you how to reframe situations or thoughts or beliefs and replace those lies with truths. That is huge, changing your self-limiting beliefs. And then I go through and I give you a full page of affirmations. I give you resources like my favorite podcasts that can help in this area and just all the things. And it's completely free for you. So just go to mindywender.com and then go to the freebie tab and you can download it today.
Number 2, your environment. Okay. So number 1, doing things, make a list of 5 things that help you operate as your best self. Number 2, your environment. Having your environment, just take a little effort to put some things out that makes your house feel homey, that, clean up, get laundry done, whatever it is. And by the way, there's always dishes in my sink. So I'm not trying to tell you I'm over here and I'm perfect. But what I'm saying is when your environment is in such, it like helps you focus. If it's clean, if it's tidy, if you have certain things that inspire you. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a picture frame on my office shelf that's empty right now, but guess what's going to go there once it comes in the mail? Pictures from Italy, our honeymoon, from when we went to Italy for our honeymoon. And I have other picture frames that are empty right now because I'm just getting things organized, right? But that is something in my environment that's going to inspire me. Another thing I have in my office is this little sign that says, I will always have hope. And if you're on YouTube, you can see it. It's just a little Bible verse that I have on my desk because I have that because I really truly feel that the things that I've gone through in my life and curveballs that have come my way, like with finding out my daughter has autism, going through divorce, starting new businesses, failing at things, and going through a house fire, rebuilding a home, like doing all of these things. I feel like one of my gifts, one of my talents is that I always see the hope in the mess. Like I always try to like the light at the end of the tunnel. And so I feel like God is sending me women to work with and to serve, whether you're just listening to this podcast or you are following me on social media or we're working one-on-one together or you take a course of mine or you're using the journal. I truly believe one thing that I am meant to give to other people is hope, to show them that it's okay to be you and there's going to be struggles and there's going to be curveballs, but you don't have to let it bring you down. And if you do, here's some tips to bounce back. So your environment is really going off on tangent after tangent, but your environment really can make a difference in just how you feel in a day to day, how if you're operating as your best self, and also to help you bounce back. The next thing is number 3 is routines and rituals. This is what helps me. Well, I know when I'm starting out my day out with my morning routine, which you guys know what that is. If you don't, I've talked about it on like every single episode. I'm telling you, pretty soon you're going to have a morning routine and you're like, why didn't I listen to her since episode 1? She's been telling me. It really is life changing. So when you start your day off on the right foot and you're starting with a morning routine, and in my morning routine, I'm writing my goals, I'm doing gratitude, I'm doing affirmations, I'm creating my to-do list. There's a daily quote in every single page. I'm journaling things. I'm reading my Bible. I'm listening to a podcast every single day. I'm listening to an audiobook. I'm doing these things. I'm getting a workout in. Obviously, that's part of a routine, right? So these are the things that in my life, when life throws me a curveball or something triggers me or the vase breaks or the business fails or somebody betrays me or lies to me. If I'm doing these routines, I am more likely to handle that situation in a calm, logical, level-headed manner, maybe with a more forgiveness in my heart, maybe with a more positive outlook. I am more likely to handle a situation better when I'm on my game doing my routines and rituals. That helps me. So that was number 3. Number 4, reminders in my notes section. I have daily reminders. So like when I'm feeling triggered. So if you're somebody that has been betrayed or have gone through something really bad, and if you get triggers, you can have a note section on your phone of reminders that help you get through those situations, like God's truths. Like reminder, you are more than this situation. You are level-headed, you are logical, you are calm. It's almost like just reminding yourself of the way who you really are, because at the end of the day, guys, when the vase breaks and we cry, that's not really how we are. That's not really who we are. It's because a series of events have led us to that thing, and we work so hard on something, and then it breaks and you just feel defeated. But that's not who you are. Just because that's how you react in a situation or in a moment doesn't equal that that was who God created you to be. Reminder, put that in your phone. Do not say because of one time you reacted in such a way that may not be the best version of yourself, that you're not proud of, and you're maybe a little embarrassed about. That does not mean that's who you are. That's who you were in one moment. And so remind yourself, especially after you react in a way that you're not proud of, go to that reminder in your phone and read the things. Read the things that you have written down. Write the things that I just said. Tell yourself, God loves me for who I am. God, flaws and all. Think of if God knows all your story. You know what I mean? Which he does. So God knew basically that I was someday going to get a divorce. God knew that you were going to react in this way to a situation, and he loves you anyway. He loved you anyway, knowing all that, and still loves you today. That's got to say that. I hope that gave you goosebumps. I hope that gave you chills, because he loves you so, so much. And now I get like, when I talk like this, you can tell the Holy Spirit's speaking through me, because I get tears in my eyes. And I don't know, whenever I feel so much gratitude about the way God loves us, no matter, like, I don't deserve this love. I don't deserve this. And he loves me anyway. All the mistakes I've made, and he loves me. See, this is what gets me emotional, because I get emotional when I'm in a state of gratitude to God, and when I'm feeling God's love, and when the Holy Spirit is speaking to me. So I know at least one of you who's listening to this today, and I want whoever is hearing this message obviously was for you. I want you to message me, because I just want to know that this hit you like it hit me. When you know that God just loves you no matter what, however you reacted, don't get down on yourself. Pick yourself back up. Getting down on yourself and dwelling on how your reaction was to a certain thing, or dwelling in the depression of being sad on something, like, how I said, sometimes you sit there and something happens and you just want to cry. You just sit there and want to cry. Those situations, it's like, don't sit there in that depression, because that's not what God has in store for you. That's not how God wants you to feel. I'm not saying don't feel your feelings, by all means, absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, it's going to take you longer to bounce back from these situations and be operating at your best self, being able to serve other people, being able to be a great mom or a great parent or a great dad, or great spouse, partner, friend, you name it, great employee, great business owner, whatever it is for you. It's going to take you longer to bounce back, where you can really do what you're meant to do in this world, what your calling is. Okay. The next thing is incantations that inspire you. So I remember Tony Robbins I can't even remember exactly, but he would go for a walk. And while he did his morning walk, he would suggest do incantations. So develop whatever that is for you. But he would say, he would clap while he was saying it, because when you clap, or it's almost like an anchor. I've talked about this in a podcast too. So like when there's a moment with my kids, for example, and I'm having a great time with my kids, I'll snap my fingers while I'm talking and walking with my child, or while I'm sitting there with them, because I want that to anchor in my memory. Like the movie, what's that movie? The Core Memory movie, what's that movie? You know what I'm talking about. What is it, guys? Tell me. With all the different color emotions. I know it's not emotions, right? That's a new one. Anyways, core memory, you get it. So I want that to be a core memory. So I'm anchoring it. So incantations, you can do the same thing. So it anchors it into your subconscious mind and becomes a belief. So he would go for a walk in the morning, and he would tell us, in this training I took, I did so many Tony Robbins courses, but he would say, so I couldn't tell you which one, but he would say, every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. And he would clap when he's doing that, or you snap your fingers while you're doing it down by your sides. But it doesn't have to be that incantation or mantra or whatever you want to call it. It could be whatever that is for you. But like when you're walking, it kind of goes with the beat. So it's like every day in every way, and then you fill in the blank. So the other thing is, Ed Milet said this, is that when he gets down or he's worried, he'll say a mantra to himself that's like, I was built for this. I was built for this. And he would say, this is what I was born to do. He'll like remind himself of these things. These are the incantations and reminders that I want you to create in your phone, that you say to yourself every single day. And when you do get down, pull up that note and remind yourself. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're on 6. Use it as fuel. I tell my son this all the time, who's a child athlete. He's 15 years old. But I tell his friends this. I tell the women that I mentor this. I've been mentoring women for 15 years. I've been telling them this. When you get a negative comment, whether it be from another athlete on your team for Lane, or maybe you make a mistake in the game of life, right? Or somebody on social media, not on your team. It could be somebody on social media says something negative to you, or a friend of yours makes fun of you for what you're doing, or whatever that is for you. Use that as fuel. I'll tell you, the reason why a lot of goals have been hit in my life, even from a young age, is that somebody really made me mad or told me I couldn't do something. Whew. Don't you ever tell me I can't do something, because look out, because I'm going to double down on that, and I'm going to show you who's boss. That's who I am. So I tell my son this, instead of believing these lies that somebody's telling you. This person is nothing to you. Use it as fuel to go out there and cream the ball next time. Use it as fuel to work harder in the gym. Use the thing for you. Use it as fuel to bounce back faster and come back stronger than ever. That's what you're going to do. That's who you are. That's who God created you to be, an overcomer. So you are going to bounce back. You're not going to listen to this BS that anyone says to you anymore. Starting today, you're drawing a line in the sand. You're done with it. Those people do not pay your bills. Those people do not parent your children. Our number one job in this world, if you're a parent, is to raise confident, independent, happy children. Those people that are saying negative crap to you, they're not paying your bills, providing an awesome life for your family. They're not, any part of your marriage. They have nothing to do. They literally have nothing to do with you. So you don't have to listen to them, but you can use that comment as fuel to bounce back faster and come back stronger than ever. You are an overcomer. Put that in your note section, in the reminder section, or in the reminder note. Okay, use it as fuel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, hopefully I remember what number we're on next time. Taking massive action helps, and it also creates motivation. So we all are like, okay, once I feel better, I'll bounce back. It is not, you can't wait on a feeling. Action creates motivation. Massive action is like doubling down on action. So massive action, taking massive action to get yourself back on track, Get up early tomorrow. Get a workout in tomorrow. Start your morning routine tomorrow. Clean up your environment. Do all these things I'm saying to you. That's massive action. God will take notice to your action and hard work. Okay? And he will reward you for those things. He will see that it's a desire in your heart. He will see that. He will see that this is a desire. He wants us to have all the desires in our hearts. So tell him what you desire by showing him that you're working really hard to make this happen. So it means something to you. Take massive action, and that will create motivation. So, number 8, gratitude and action. So, gratitude. So, what I mean by that in action, I want you to start your morning out like I do. I want you to focus and write something down that you're grateful for. Also, throughout the day, pay attention to something that you're grateful for. And the action part of this is express your gratitude to other people. So, when somebody does something kind to you, tell them about it. Tell them thank you. Tell them you're grateful. If somebody has been doing something nice for you and you haven't expressed that yet, tell them about it. Tell them how much you appreciate them. Okay, number 9 is listening to worship music. I said this in a past episode, but my husband Joey told me he heard it on a podcast, and I just thought it was so true because I'm like, I do that, and it actually really is true. It works. So when you're feeling down and you've had a moment, the last thing you might want to do is listen to things positive or worship music or personal development or anything like that. But I'm telling you, play worship music and listen to the words. Everyone that knows me knows I'm always like, no, but wait, you guys, I have to rewind this part because you have to listen to the words. You have to hear the lyrics. I am a lyric pusher. That's who I am. I'm a music pusher and a lyric pusher. I need you guys to hear the words because there's so much meaning. Like when you think about people writing songs, a lot of times, I remember when I was younger, I would sing songs. Now I listen to that same song when I'm older. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my parents let me listen to this. These lyrics are bad. But at the time, I didn't even listen to the lyrics. Now I like songwriting is so beautiful and there's so much meaning behind certain songs, but like definitely worship music. There's so much beautiful meaning behind worship music. So when you're feeling down and want to bounce back, turn on worship music for 7 days straight. Your bounce back rate will increase. Promise you that. And number 10, the last but definitely not least, is pray. Prayer will help you through all this. Praying will help you, and talking to God will help you bounce back so much faster. When we try to do all this stuff alone, you guys, it's just not it. It's not the move. It doesn't move the needle forward as fast as you need it to go. You want to bounce back. You want to be back feeling like your best self. You want to feel good again. You don't want to feel depressed. You don't want to feel angry. I'm telling you, invite God into that the whole bouncing back situation. It will happen so much faster for you and you'll feel so much better and you will come out on the other side bouncing back faster and stronger than ever. And God will remind you, and I'm going to be God's messenger here. You are an overcomer, no matter how big or how small that situation. Don't beat yourself up that you let yourself go there. We're going to get into the practice of not allowing ourselves to go there, but don't beat yourself up when you do. You're human. Okay. Reminder, you are human. And so what I need you to do though is remind yourself that you are an overcomer and you will bounce back. So if you enjoyed this episode, please share it on your social media. Also, I just want to let you know that in the month of May, we just did a giveaway on social media on Instagram. It was so much fun. I loved it so much and getting to see your comments and so many new listeners to the podcast. I absolutely love it. So we're going to do another giveaway in the month of May. So make sure that you're following at Obsessed or Not Interested and then at Mindy Wender for all the details of our May giveaway. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a cool prize. I can't wait. So make sure you're following along and I will talk to you next week. Seriously, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Obsessed or Not Interested podcast. I love connecting with you on social media. So if you guys want, please shoot me a DM at either our podcast Instagram, which is at Obsessed or Not Interested, or even my personal Instagram, which is at Mindy Wender. I check them both, so either is fine. Oh, and truly, if this has helped you even 1%, if you could do me a huge solid and leave me a rating and review, that would mean the world to me. When you guys do that, here's why I really love it. It's because it helps the podcast be able to reach more women who want and need this. So truly, that is like the best compliment you could ever give me, is just leaving ratings and reviews for this podcast. Anything that I talked about in today's episode, any links or resources, you will find that in the show notes. Thank you for listening to today. Can't wait to chat more in the DMs, and don't forget to tune in next Tuesday.